Good day, everybody. It's Jerry from Bullshit Corner, and now we need to start getting these prepped, get them in POR 15. Time is running out. This past weekend was the last weekend to get out where the weather's still nice. This week in general is supposed to be good. And next week, snow's supposed to start coming, which I'm not too surprised about because I got notified that 2 years ago, we already had like 2 feet of snow on the ground. So I feel pretty fortunate that so far this year's been good. I need to start getting those prepped up, get them in POR 15, get some paint on them. We start installing it, get this project done. Before I can get into the POR 15 treatment, I'm gonna scuff up the metal so it can bond a little better to it. It actually works best if it's got a light coat of rust on it, and then you sand it down, or if you have a sandblaster and you can sandblast all the parts. But I've had good luck just scuffing it up because these fenders were done that way. The sliders I built, front fenders, were done the way I'm gonna do it. And it's been over a year and they haven't peeled off yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and start scuffing this up before we start doing the process. Just gonna pull all the Johnny joints out first because we don't need the POR 15 nose. That's the last thing we need to do. I'm using some 80 grit here. Nice and abrasive. Those are all scratched up now. POR 15 is actually a real messy process where you go through with the cleaner degreaser, you spray it on there, rinse it off with water, and then the metal prep goes on afterwards, which you spray it on. You got to keep it wet for 30 minutes. It puts like a zinc coating on, zinc phosphate or something, then clean it off with water, and then when it's bone dry, this is the little POR 15 cans I get. This stuff is, you wear it. So make sure you use gloves because once it's on your skin, it does not come off. You'll be wearing it off. Before I get too ahead of myself, you can see after the treatment, kind of gives it like a dull coating. I'm just doing the POR 15 right here. Hopefully that rod in the vise doesn't collapse. POR 15 is applied. Tomorrow it'll be hardened so I can give it a quick sand with some Scotch-Brite. And then we'll spray some of this stuff I got. Rust check, rust paint on top of that. And hopefully we should be good for a few years. Let's have a look. Yeah, the bar held in the vise. I was expecting maybe to come in. They've all fell down on the floor. Yeah, the POR 15 turned out pretty good. Got to give them light scuff before we put the top coat on. So this is the moment where I admit I have a big failure. I went through the whole process, Scotch-Briting everything, put like light scuff on them and start painting them, and then I realized with my GoPro 7 that I'm wearing right now is that I didn't take the lens cover off, so all I filmed was blackness when I was doing like the whole prep work for these control arms. POR 15 lightly sanded. Huge fail on my behalf. Sucks, but it is what it is. Just gonna give these more scuff. The larger or the bottom control arms already have like 4 coats on them, but yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. That's what happens. Those are looking pretty good. Let them dry good overnight, and then tomorrow I'll assemble them. But I'm looking at my toolbox. I'm looking at stickers I collected from people over the years, like Montana Low Gear. He hasn't produced a video in forever. Rickafix, I don't think he's produced a video in many years. Steve Robb still does. Let's have a look here. Ozstar, he still produces a video every now and then. My buddy Dave, same thing, every now and then. But the Plow guys up top there, I don't think they produced a video in a long time. Ghost My Vlogs, same thing. Badger still does. Thomas, he hasn't produced a video well over a year. Redneck Garage, Dave comes and goes. Seems to produce like 5 to 7 videos and disappears for a couple of months. Let's see here. Buddy Lee no longer produces videos. Is there anybody else? Anybody else? No, I think that's it. Which is kind of too bad. A lot of those channels I liked watching too. It's hard to find new content to watch. Been stuck on a lot of history channels right now where they basically tell the history in like a cartoon version. Weird History, I think, is one of the channels that I follow. All assembled. Now for the Johnny joint end, I actually got the matching bolts, which have a greasable zerk on them in order to keep the bolt from seizing up inside there. What's great about this setup here, building my own control arms, is that bushings can be replaced, Johnny joint can be rebuilt, 1/4 inch DOM, 2-inch tubing, shouldn't have any issues at all with it. So this is where the fun begins. We set it up, take it down 100 times. I got some anti-seize on that bolt so it won't seize into that metal pin. I got the far side in, the lower. I need to put this side in. Put the springs back in, jack it up so that the weight is on the springs and suspension, so we can look at the pinion angle once again and see where we're going to go. Set up again, only to take it all apart again pretty soon. Just having a look. Axle's not centered left to right yet, but coming back down underneath, that driveline angle is actually looking pretty good. It's actually looking pretty good. All I did was I moved this out 3 turns from stock, which is might have been 1/2 inch, and that 1/2 inch pushing it out pushed that pinion down to right angle where I need it. So I just need to jack her up again, remove the springs, because it's easier to try to get the bolt in on that side, because with the way the truss is, won't be able to fit a bolt in on that side. So instead of trying to struggle with it, only takes a few seconds. Pull the springs out, put the uppers in, and then I can put the springs in, get the weight up on it again, and then try to pull the axle, I should say, so we can get that part sorted out. Because in order to make the track bar, I need to center the axle. Just had this package come in from Amazon, 2-inch sanding pads. What's nice about this packaging, said it came with 80, 36 grit, 60 grit, and another pad which comes with the one that you can put in a drill. It's also at Princess Auto today. And gum out, that said come out, brake cleaner, $2.88 a can. Can never have too much brake cleaner. Yeah, this is going to be nice. I can use an electric drill, which is quieter, instead of using the air compressor. I got one already fit up. I already marked the size. The new one will probably look like that in a few years' time. But for the Johnny joint, of course, I'm using a special bolt, Greasable Zerk. Now, for the upper one, what I always like to do is taper the end of the bolt. That way, when you go to stick it in, if you're not 100% aligned, which 99% of the time you're not going to be, the tapered end will catch and you can drive it through without damaging the threads. So now the fun begins. I got to make these little tabs. It's actually for the track bar, but you kind of get the idea. These go up in the frame, so it's easier to get the upper control arms bolted in. I got 2 nuts, so I got to drill a hole, kind of weld the nut partially through. Then use a lock washer on the other side, because this is just a regular nut. No point getting a nylock if you're going to weld it, because the nylon's just gonna end up melting, and couldn't find any stovers at Lowe's. Should get some lube on there. Using a corded, that was supposed to happen. Using a corded drill is a million times better. You'd be amazed how many people don't know how to sharpen a drill bit. Just realized this drill bit's bent. Yeah, this should be interesting. I don't think she's going to be able to make a hole too well, even though I sharpened it. I'll find out. She's going. She ain't very straight. Like a big oval. Let's fab those up quickly. Gotta put them in the vise, weld them. Yeah, good to go. Tack welded it in. I think that'll work. Upper arm is in. Got the drill out. Exhaust moved out of the way because the upper control arm mount needs to be drilled out to 1/2 inch to get the 1/2 inch bolt in, because I upgraded to larger size bolt. Try to get myself in there. She's a little tight, so I'm just dugging her up by hand. She's gonna work out just fine. This part is done now. It's looking pretty good. This is a short video. Not too much happened in this video, but if you made it this far, I just want to say that getting to this point right here is very time consuming. It's all about mocking it up, assembling it, check the fit, make sure there's no binding without the springs in, jacking up the suspension, lowering it down, put the springs in, fit it up, get your pinion angle right, assemble it, take it apart. Now, I only got to do this 2 more times. Build the track bar, mock it up, remove the springs, and then with the track bar in, cycle the axle up and down again, see how it's going to be, and hopefully be ready to move on, because this is the most time consuming part. Actually assembling the rest of the axle, putting the brake lines on, all that kind of stuff won't be too bad. Building the brake lines is going to take a little bit of time, but we're doing good. Does look pretty good though. I like the Johnny joints. You know, once again, 2-inch DOM, 1/4 inch wall, 1.5 inch DOM, 1/4 inch wall for the top. That suspension is thick and beefy. 4.5 inch lift spring. We're doing good. Speaking of doing good, motherfucking beer time. Time to shut it down and grab a beer. It's all about the caribou. Yeah, before I start anything else, it's definitely a mess I got to organize and somewhat clean up. All right, I want to thank everybody for watching. Motherfucking beer time, my favorite part of the video. Cheers, everybody. It's getting into that season where start drinking whiskey instead. Last camping trip went out. Once the weather gets cold, the beer just doesn't go down smooth. Beer does not go down smooth at all. Definitely need to sit around a fire with some Fireball whiskey, or just some good old whiskey. Like, I was gonna say Crown Royal, but there's better ones out there than that. It's that time of year to sit around a fire and sip on some Fireball whiskey. I like that stuff. It's definitely warms you up when it's cold, but I'm making good progress. I just gotta do a little bit of organizing, get to the next step, cleaning up some of the boxes, which I'm glad, getting some more space inside here. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. Oh, a little bit of a cough, you know what that means. Anyways, I'll see you guys next video. Take care.